Alright, I hope the lighting is not too low, too bad, too shadowy, because if I'm spending the time doing this, I really want it to be at least decent quality. So here we go. If I haven't said so already, it is basically the end of the night and the kids went to bed early, so I just want to play with some makeup and chit chat a little. So if you're into that, welcome. So for my makeup, I've kind of been sticking with the routine because I've been doing a project pan and just focusing on those products. But today I will just be venturing out a little bit from that, so I will be using different things today. So I'm using the Glow Recipe, the Watermelon Dewdrop, or yeah, is it the Watermelon Dewdrops? Yes, that's what it's called. I didn't want to mix up the Watermelon Dewdrops from Glow Recipe with the Glossier Future Dew, so I have not used this in like a hot minute. Definitely they have a watermelon scent going on with this. Right, and then just for shits and gigs, here we are using the Lottie London Illuminating Coconut Primer. So we're going fruity, I guess. Right, and I just squirted out a generous amount of this onto the back of my hand, so we'll be going heavy with this. So how was y'all's day today? Mine was just a tad interesting, just a tad. Where did the foundation go that I was going to use today? Oh, here we go. This is like a sample size of the Clinique Even Better Clinical Serum Foundation. This is in the shade, it's too dark in here, okay. Alright, so this is what the little sample guy looks like right here. So this is what I'll be using. So today started out as like a normal day. I worked today, so I spent most of the day working, obviously. And then after work, I decided, well, I didn't like really decide, but it was time. I needed to go to the grocery store to pick up groceries. Most of the time I just do like grocery pickup. I don't even go in the store anymore usually, for the most part. But we were already kind of running low on groceries, so I had to basically restock. And so when I do that, I just go in store. So it is after work. My kids are still at the babysitter's. Right, and so I'm trying to quickly get what I need and go through checkout and leave so I can get my kids. So I am like exhausted from work and I'm running around the grocery store like a madman, just trying to hurry up and get what I need so I don't get caught up in the line and have to stand there for 3 hours and hurry up and go home. Okay, because by the time I get out of work, I get home and do all, you know. So by the time I get out of work and everything is calmed down and whatever, it's already super late. So we're running on borrowed time basically. So here I am running around like a madman getting the things that I need, and I get my cart full basically of what we need and I go to check out, and there's like 2, maybe 3 lines open. I can't really remember. There was a couple, okay? A couple lines open and they were both pretty much backed up, so it didn't really matter where you went. So I get in line with my stuff and I'm standing there in line waiting for it to be my turn to check out, and everything's fine. The cashier keeps eyeballing me, right? And I'm like, okay, so they must be gearing up to like switch shifts or something, you know, they're probably about to leave and whatever, so somebody else is probably going to come in and check me out. You know, because if you work customer service, you recognize those eyeballs like, crap, I gotta leave and here comes somebody else, you know what I mean? So I was like, okay, so we'll probably switch hands here and somebody else will check me out, whatever, no big deal. They're usually quick about that because I've been in line when that's happened before. So like that wasn't an issue. I was like, okay. So I start like putting my stuff up on the belt to get checked out next, because these people already, the people in front of me already had their stuff like in bags in their shopping cart and whatever, and was like in the midst of paying for their stuff. And so I was like, okay, I'm next. I'm putting my stuff up there. You know, the quicker I get my stuff up there, the quicker they can check me out. I can go, get out of here. So I'm like tired, exhausted, still had to like get my kids and whatever, and I'm like loading up all this stuff on the belt, right? So I see like another like employee, grocery store employee come up to the register, and I was like, okay, yeah, I was right, you know, they're switching hands, so somebody else is coming in, they're leaving, that's who's going to check me out, whatever, cool. So these people are still like trying to pay, and they're still like standing there, and I'm still standing behind them with my stuff on the thing ready to go, and they just keep eyeballing me, and I'm just like, okay, cool, like whatever. Stand there forever, me and the lady, this like little family or whatever, a dude, chick, and a kid in front of me, and they're just kind of like standing there, and with all their stuff in their cart bagged up and whatever, and I'm just kind of behind them with all my stuff on the belt. So with like 2 employees standing there, we probably stood there and waited for like 20 minutes. I had no idea what was going on, because obviously it wasn't my, you know, situation. I was just behind them. So like after about 20 minutes of standing there, the other employee who come up second, not the one that was checking the people in front of me out, but the one that came up next, was basically, the people in front of me left, and I was like, okay, great, so they're going to check me out, right? No, the other employee that come up looked right at me and said, okay, this register's broken, we can't use it to check anybody else out, so you're gonna have to go to another register. Oh, okay, you know, like, that's great. So they're like, yeah, just go to the one next door, and whoever was over there, you know, will check you out. And I was like, okay, so I was like, are you able to help me put all of this stuff back in my cart so I can hurry up and get over there to be checked out, since, you know, you both just basically stood here and watched me load it up on the belt knowing that the register was broke down? Thanks. They're like, oh, no, I'm leaving, and, you know, this one's busy or something, and they're basically both just like, no, just put your stuff in your cart, and then when you get to the other register, they may be able to, like, check you out without you putting everything back up on the belt. I was like, oh. So then, the people who ended up showing up behind me, like, literally 2 seconds after, like, oh, you gotta go somewhere else, did not have their stuff out of their cart, so it was still in their cart. So what they did, you know, they heard the whole situation, whatever. They took their little cart and they hightailed it over to the other register, the one next door, like where they were prompting me to go. Here I am, exhausted, tired from work, loading up all this, a bunch of stuff, heavy stuff, back into my cart that they watched me put on the belt, knowing that their register was broke and that it wouldn't work or whatever the situation was. Went over to the other lane, put their stuff up there, and was checking out. By the time I was able to get all my stuff loaded up back into my cart to go over to the other lane, there was like 3 people in that line. Okay, so clearly, you know, I can't just cut line and be like, yo, so here I am, everybody moving out of the way. It took me 45 minutes to put all my stuff back in the cart or whatever. So, no, you can't do that. And whoever was working that aisle was already starting to check people out and everything. So, you know, I had to wait, which is fine. Okay, it gave me a little bit of a break from loading groceries, basically, essentially. So I didn't really care that much. I mean, I was kind of in a hurry because I just worked all day, had to go get my kids and all that. But at the same time, I can appreciate like a little break from, you know, playing the load unload grocery game. So it's finally my turn to get up there again to get rung out for like the second time. And I get up there and I let them know that I was like in the other lane, the next one over, but they said that they couldn't check me out because their register was broken. I had all my stuff up on the belt and like had to, you know, put it back in my cart and come over here to be checked out, and that they just... Alright, so I literally have no idea where I was story-wise because my camera died. It was my turn to check out at the second lane. And so when I got up there, like I still had all my stuff in my cart and whatever, and I told the checkout girl, the cashier, I told the cashier, I was like, look, you know, so I was in the second lane, the other lane over, and they said that their register, so, you know, they said that their register doesn't work, it's broke, and then they sent me away and they told me to come over to this lane, and I just got done, like, putting all my stuff back in the cart from over there, and they told me that when I got up here, because nobody could help me put my stuff back in the cart, that so I wouldn't have to re-put it back on the belt to get it rung up, that you could just, you know, like come around or whatever and just ring it up from the cart for the most part. And this girl just looked at me like I was insane and was just like, no, like, no. She's like, no, I can't do that. She's like, you have to put your stuff on the belt and I have to ring it up this way. I can't like come to the cart and ring up all your stuff. So I was like, well, okay, that's cool, fine, whatever. I was like, so can I just put the smaller stuff up and then you just ring up like the larger stuff from the cart? You know, that way, like kind of like a compromise, but making it easier on me a little bit, you know. Whoa, since I'd already, you know, done this once, you know, so that was like my secondary request, and she was just like, no. She told me that I literally have to put every single item on the belt and have her ring it up through the scanner and the register to get it rung up. So I just kind of like stood there for a few minutes, like so disappointed, so tired. I just wanted to get out of there. And you know, I already put the stuff in the cart one time, you know, while I was walking around the store gathering it up. Took it to a register, put it all on the belt. While they watched me put it on the belt, knowing that their machine was broken and couldn't do anything with it. And then I had to put it back in the cart again for a second time. And then I get to the other register and she makes me put it back on the belt again because that's, I guess, the only way she could ring it up, she said. So I do that. Like, I was at that point and I was just dreading this. I was already didn't want to be there anymore. I was at the point where I was just going to just walk off and leave the cart with all the groceries standing there, because after I put all this back on the belt again, I'd have to go and put it back in the cart, then take it out to the parking lot, which it was, at this point now, it was dark outside, okay? It was dark. I was in here so long. I was in there for like hours, okay? Hours. And at this point, it was dark outside, and I would have to stand out there and put all my groceries in my trunk. And then when I got home, unload them from the car and bring them into the house. And then I still had to like put my kids in the bath and in the bed and make dinner and all this stuff. And I was not having it. I was just like, man, I'm about to just leave all this stuff and go. But here I am. I did not leave my stuff there. I went ahead, sucked it up, put all my stuff on the belt to get it checked out and bring it home because I needed groceries so I can make the kids something for dinner. And I was just like, this was the worst grocery experience I have ever had. This is literally ridiculous. How can two people sit there and watch somebody load their stuff onto the belt knowing that they were not going to be able to check them out, literally watch them, and then wait until they get all their stuff on there and like, yo, so we can't actually check you out. You need to put all your stuff back in your cart and go somewhere else. Like, I seriously would not have been such a big crybaby about the whole situation if somebody would have told me before I started loading my stuff up. Because the person in front of me had already been standing there with their stuff in their cart when I showed up behind them. And then for 20 minutes after I unloaded my stuff onto the belt, I stood there waiting for them to fix whatever the situation would have been to get checked out myself. And not one time did anybody say anything like, hey, we're kind of having an issue. You might not want to put your stuff up here. You might just want to go to the next register, you know, or if you really want to wait, you can stand here and wait, and then maybe we can check you out if our stuff works. No. Nope. And then after they watched me load my stuff up, then no, we can't help you put your stuff back in the cart. You just gotta do all that yourself, and we'll watch you walk over to the next lane and then let them tell you no, they can't do any extra accommodations either. Like, just bring your stuff up in the cart. That's the biggest crybaby I've ever been in a grocery store, but I kind of feel like it was sort of warranted because, anyway, I don't know how this video is going to turn out, but anyway, I may post this, I may not. If you've enjoyed this video though, thank you so much for watching. I'm about to actually go take a shower, go to bed, and get ready for work tomorrow.